It's 19 hours GMT, and this is News 360. Thank you for joining us here from the News Hub at Adiso Kanda. I'm Natalie Fort.
And I'm Roland Walker. Let's bring you our top stories for this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, and Apa Foods.
Surge in COVID-19 cases, with current case count at 1,267 with 338 deaths.
Scramble for accommodation on campus as universities resume fully after a 10-month COVID-19 break.
Also ahead this evening, a third fire outbreak in Kumasi in less than 48 hours renders hundreds of scrap dealers and headquarters at the Gomba line homeless.
In business, CD loses marginally to the US dollar following a Bank of Ghana's $60 million allotment to bi-weekly forex forward auctions.
On the international front this evening, Democrats introduce articles of impeachment against President Trump, accusing him of inciting insurrection and violence against the U.S. government.
Make sure you stick and stay. You can also watch us live through the DSTV channel 279. And then when you go onto Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also YouTube, make sure you go search for TV3 Ghana. Now the details.
Absolutely, and here's where we get started. This evening, Ghana is beginning to record a surge in COVID-19 cases, with the current case count at 1,267 with 338 deaths. Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Asari Bekoy, attributed the seeming lack of space at isolation treatment centers to home management cases now being treated at the centers. Now, meanwhile, the Ghana Health Service has designated a new center at Pantang to cater for asymptomatic cases in order to free up space at treatment centers.
Ghana recorded its maximum cases of COVID-19 in June and July last year. Cases, however, reduced thereafter, peaking again early November with a surge attributed to workplace infections. Cases began to rise in mid-December. Director of Public Health, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bekwin, attributed the rise in cases to the increase in imported cases and people disregarding COVID-19 safety protocols during the festive season.
The Xmas and the New Year activities, people were not disciplined enough. You could see that there was no adherence to the protocols, no use of face mask, and clearly this disease is a disease about closeness. So if you are not adhering to the protocols and you are so close, they are going to share the infection. So I think that the full adherence to the protocols, together with the increasing numbers from the other countries, has accounted for the increased number of cases.
After the country saw a reduction in COVID-19 cases, treatment centers such as the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence and the Pentecost Convention Center were handed over back to the owners. However, isolation and treatment centers are currently filled up due to home management cases of COVID-19 now being treated at the centers.
Because now the cases that were supposed to be in the home and the home management, because they are not conforming to the protocol, we are keeping them in the treatment centers. So it means that people who are supposed to be at home are at the treatment center. So they are occupying the space. So assuming that you are having 50 beds available for treatment. Now people who are asymptomatic are not being kept there. So now there's fight for space. And so that's been a challenge for now, coupled with the apparent increase in numbers. So now what's happening is that we have a center in Pantan is ready for use. Maybe today or tomorrow is going to be used. So clearly that facility will be used to take care of the asymptomatic cases.
Dr. Esiedu-Bekwin said contact tracing has not stopped.
When we started the response, we had only 2 labs. But to improve our lab capacity, we brought on board several laboratories. So now we have about 23 laboratories in the country. People walk in to assess their status. We are challenged about linking the status to the care. ultimately, when I'm positive, I need to inform the health facility that a serial queen has come to our place is positive. So we want you to take over. The health system now comes in, speaks to you, identify your contacts, and do the contact tracing. I mean, I think that there's a gap here. So that's one thing that we are trying to address with the lab so that we improve on it. But contact tracing has not stopped.
He stressed the need to enforce the observance of safety protocols even as schools reopen to prevent a second wave.
So the school environment is supposed to be sterile. You know, just a few days ago, they are doing disinfection in almost all the schools. There are clear guidelines about how the school environment is going to be maintained. But what is most important is that outside the school, which is a challenge. So we need to be sure that the general population is COVID-free, so that we don't put the burden on the school.
Later there, across Ghana, fresh and continuing students are returning to school after nearly 10 months of a COVID-19 break. But my colleague, Komla Adom, was at the campus of the University of Ghana and reports of a mad rush for accommodation on campus.
The usually quiet stretch from Okponglo to the University of Ghana campus was on Monday choked, gridlock for hours. Fresh and continuing students thronged the university campus to complete registration after schools reopened.
I'm expected to finish everything I have to do here and leave very early because there are a lot of people here and we've been assigned numbers, so I'm hoping everything goes as planned.
At the Legon Hall, hundreds of continuing students showed up to secure accommodation. It will take balloting to get a place.
If you get a yes, wait for me. If it's a no, please leave. You cannot leave. If it's a no, please leave. I can't do anything about it.
Majority of the students were unlucky.
I picked a no. Sorry, no. And it seems the yeses are just a few out of a numerous amount of no's. And I don't know what we are doing because this is our last option and it feels like it's now a tough time. It's really tough here. So I don't know what I'm going to do unless I maybe check elsewhere or fetch or something. I don't know.
I haven't been resident. Level 100 I applied, I didn't get. 200, 300, still I didn't get. So I was expecting the final year I'll be admitted to the Hall of Residence, but still I think I've been disappointed, so I'll have to resort to other alternatives.
I got congratulations, you have a bed.
Okay, how does it make you feel?
I'm excited, I'm happy.
Because looking at the numbers?
It's almost insane that I would actually get congratulations because apparently the number of congratulations is much fewer than the no's, and I've been one of the few to get it, so I'm very happy about it.
Outside the Legon Hall, however, parents, guardians and fresh students who had queued for several hours to secure accommodation were frustrated.
Parents outside. We don't know what is happening inside.
I came here around 6 a.m. and I'm still here until probably 4 to 5 hours now. And they told us that those who have problems with accommodation, they should go to the other place to sort it out. And those who don't have a problem with accommodation should join the queue. But they've been able to join the queue and they are inside for more than 3 hours. There's nothing, no one is telling us anything. And when you call the queue, they tell that we are still in the queue. So we don't know what is actually happening in there.
Let's stay on education and COVID-19. As a member of the Koforidua Technical University COVID-19 Committee, Dr. Samuel Kofi says proposals to run lectures on shift has been presented to management. The intention, he explained, is to reduce class sizes. Residential facility managers are also expected to cut down by half the number of students accommodated in a room.
Fresh and continuing students had turned up in their numbers to register in batches. A member of the COVID committee, Dr. Samuel Kofi, explained adjustments on the offering to contain the huge numbers, while others await management's approval.
We are going to divide the classes. So a class that has, let's say, 200 or 400, we have to divide it into 4, more or less like a shift system. We have now presented this to management. Management is going to sit on it and see how feasible it is, making sure that the number will be enough to ensure the social distancing in each of the lecture theatres.
Let's turn our attention to some politics. And the Dean of the UPSA Law Faculty, Dr. Kofi, has underscored the need for citizens to put the nation's interests first at all levels. He says recent happenings in Parliament, where one unknown MPP member voted against the Speaker nominee of the party, should be an encouragement, since the person might have acted in the interests of the country. He spoke at the One Ghana inaugural lecture that took place at the UPSA in Accra.
One Ghana Movement annual Constitution Day public lecture seeks to interrogate pertinent issues in the 1992 Constitution and chart a way forward for its development and the country at large. Dean of the UPSA Law Faculty, Dr. Kofi explained the current composition of the 8th Parliament is the best for the country's democracy.
Parliamentary bipartisanship, parliamentary consensus, parliamentary cooperation and collaboration, and internal unity of Parliament is important for the image of Parliament itself. And so if you have had a situation in which a political party member, i.e. an MP, have done something, I'm not sure what the reason for doing it is or was, but if the reason for doing that was in the best interest of national interest, i.e. if he decided to reach out beyond his political party's expectation, but for the sake of the nation, then I think it's an example worth copying by the other party. If one party has done it, then the other party should replicate. I do not think that Parliament should rubber stamp the executive, but I do not think that Parliament should also be obstructive of the executive.
He expressed worry over the winner-takes-all syndrome practiced in the Fourth Republic, stressing the need for reforms to help develop Ghana's democratic dispensation.
The Constitution is fundamentally sound, both structurally and substantively. No fine-tuning of the Constitution can achieve much. No reform of the Constitution can achieve much. So since the Constitution is structurally sound, generally speaking, and substantively sound, generally speaking, I think it's imperative at this stage that we have a real commitment on the part of the political class to ensure that the limitations that are imposed on their various actions in the Constitution, in the various facets, and you don't have to itemize them, we all know them. If there's a commitment in this respect, I suspect that we will overcome the deficits.
The maiden edition of the lecture was on the theme, Realizing the 92 Constitution Beyond Elections, Citizenship, Public Good and Inclusive Governance.
You're watching News 360. Let's stay on governance-related issues, as some civil society groups are calling for immediate investigations into incidents that marred the inauguration of the 8th Parliament on January 7. The groups, while condemning the act, want those culpable sanctioned.
What was expected to be a smooth election of a speaker for the 8th Parliament and the subsequent inauguration of newly elected MPs turned chaotic. There was a clash between NDC and NPP MPs elect over choice of the speaker. This led to the storming of the House by a joint police and military team, an incident many have condemned. After 3 attempts at voting, the House finally went through with the process. But during the counting process, the MP for Tema West, Carlos Ahinkwa, snatched the ballot papers, and this MPs of the NDC did not take lightly. Many have described the incident as inappropriate and a dent on the country's democracy. For some civil society groups, the leadership of Parliament must apologize to Ghanaians for their actions and immediate investigations carried out.
It's imperative that Parliament itself undertakes some house cleaning on the matter. The legislature as an entity is the embodiment of the representation of the Ghanaian people, and they are honorables, or within our tradition, people at a certain level of society should be able to sort themselves out and come out with a position.
Whether it's going to be we waiting until there is a privileges committee or the right honorable speaker who is close with the power to, see to the establishment of a special ad hoc committee to deal with this particular matter. All we are looking for is that the rules of natural justice will prevail, the rule of law will prevail, the best examples and practices of Parliament and the best procedures of Parliament that will see to the amicable resolution of this matter will be put in place.
They want recommendations that will enhance the work of Parliament and avert possible future occurrence.
We can have recommendations to punish people who are found culpable. 2, we can have recommendations that will help build the parliamentary institution and strengthen it even further to deal with such matters if they should ever happen again, especially the department, the Marshal's Department, which is responsible for, general security in the House. And 3, to be able to put forward its best foot, so that the people of Ghana would regain the confidence that has now been lost in this 8th Parliament.
Parliamentary Network Africa, one of the groups, has indicated its decision to petition the Speaker of Parliament on the matter.
He's clothed with the powers to issue the right directives to the appropriate committees or bodies that will get to investigate this particular matter. So we are going to petition the Right Honourable Speaker.
On the other hand, legal practitioners and governance advocates, they are insisting the impending election petition to be heard by the Supreme Court will further deepen Ghana's democracy and also review the flaws in its electoral processes for better scrutiny. As part of a countdown to the start of the hearing by the Supreme Court, we look at the responses by the 2 respondents and how they may influence the pre-trial hearings. For the second respondent, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the petition by John Dramani Mahama lacks substance and is a face-saving attempt to mask his re-election bid. Both the EC and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo describe the petition as one that lacks merit, incompetent, and raises no reasonable cause of action. For the general public, however, their interest will be keener. But how would it be for the open society? It is an exciting period for many legal practitioners right here in our country. But for the general public, there is a clear difference between what the current election petition will be saying by way of the reliefs and then also what may have been prayed the court back in 2012. We're here to speak to lawyer Chris Hesimam and ask him what the clear differences are and perhaps how we as the general public could be better educated.
With the 2012 one, it had to do more with the petitioners coming to the Supreme Court with their petition couched to attack the declaration from the very roots. And that is where the coinage or the adage by Atuguba, or the Supreme Court, if I would put it, came out that the elections are won at the polling stations. That for you to succeed, you need to be very observant. You need to get people who are well educated into that arena or that stage of the process so that certifications would be either you object or if you are objecting that failing to sign out a certain declaration, you give reasons why you are not signing up to it. Then it becomes easy for the EC officials upstage to carry on with whatever reservations you have at the polling centers.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party obtained 6,730,000.
For the Electoral Commission, it was misconceived and untenable for former President Mahama in the petition to rely on an error made by the chairperson of the Commission, Jean Mensah, on December 9, 2020, when she inadvertently misquoted the total number of votes cast as the total valid votes. While the case will be heard in court, what level of education should the public get before the hearing commences?
One of the main preliminary objections that the respondents are putting out is that out of over 38,000 polling centers, together with the special centers, the current petition has failed to attack the very fabric of the declaration. To the respondents, then you have failed. You have not been able to put your case across, and by that, your case must fail. For it to be televised or not, it's an administrative remit within the Chief Justice to do that. You know, sometimes during this election petition, especially when it is It involves the presidential proceedings. People have certain inhibited minds and ideologies, so that if the process is open, fair, and they see how the adjudicatory process carries on, it quells a lot of emotions and any other agitations that may come.
Overall, prudent governance advocates believe the new petition hearing will deepen further Ghana's democracy and also reveal the flaws in its electoral processes for scrutiny.
We'll certainly bring you more on the 2020 election petition in the days ahead. But away from that, the 7th prosecution witness, Detective Chief Inspector Thomas Prempeh Mercer, has admitted to an Accra High Court that the fertilizer that was presented by Agricult Ghana Limited was a powdered lithovit foliar fertilizer and not the liquid type that was distributed to farmers. Godfred Tenam sat through proceedings in court.
During cross-examination, the trial of the former CEO of Cokobo, Dr. Stephen Kwabena, Detective Chief Inspector Thomas Prempeh Mercer said investigations conducted by the forensic unit of the CID showed that it was only a sample of a powdered fertilizer that was tested, but the liquid fertilizer distributed to the farmers did not go through any test. He appeared in court as a 7th prosecution witness to testify against first accused former CEO of Cokobo, Dr. Stephen Kwabena, CEO of Agricult Ghana Limited, Sedio Agongo, and a third accused, Agricult Ghana Limited. According to him, investigation conducted by the forensic unit of the CID revealed that immediately Dr. Kwabena was appointed as CEO of Cokobo, he had a meeting with some scientists and directed them to shorten the test period for agrochemicals and fertilizers. His reason for the directive, according to Detective Mercer, was that suppliers take undue advantage of the monopoly they enjoy and charge higher prices on their product, adding testing can be compared to other products which have similar components. Based on the directive for the lithovit foliar fertilizer that was sent for testing by Agricult Ghana Limited on May 15, 2013, was minuted as procedure required and handed over to one Dr. Alfred Arthur, who conducted the test. The lithovit foliar fertilizer in powdered form was used on a 2-month nursery plant, and at the end of 6-month testing period, Dr. Arthur submitted his initial report. The report, according to Detective Mercer, was forwarded by the then Executive Director of Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana, FF Amwa, after the 6-month testing period. Further investigations by the Financial Forensic Unit revealed that on January 22, 2014, the Executive Director, FF Amwa, issued a certificate to Agricult Ghana Limited and its Chief Executive Officer, Sedio Agongo. After the certification was issued on January 25, 2014, the former CEO of Cokobo, Dr. Stephen Kwabena, then wrote to Agricult Ghana Limited to send quotation on 700,000 liters of lithovit foliar fertilizer. According to the witness, the second accused, Sedio Agongo, and Agricult Ghana Limited supplied 700,000 liters of lithovit liquid fertilizer. Similar contracts were signed for the procurement of the lithovit fertilizer in varied quantities between 2014 and 2016. According to the witness, however, Cokobo abrogated the deal for the last consignment, which was ordered by Dr. Opuni for the 2016-2017 season on grounds that the fertilizer was not tested. The Financial Forensic Unit at the CID headquarters of the Ghana Police Service took over investigations into the Opuni case after the unit received a petition on July 7, 2017 to investigate a number of cases under investigations at the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. The cross-examination will continue on January 18. Godfrey Tanam, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's take you to the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi, where hundreds of headquarters and scrap dealers who reside at Dagomba Line have been displaced after fire swept through their makeshift structures. The helpless slum dwellers looked on while the fire personnel struggled to drive to the scene due to congestion.
Even though there was no casualty, property running into thousands of cedis was lost. Firefighters had a difficult time driving to the scene.
Meba member to be a minima nyina shi me bibia shi misika dedam ho nyina shi member to be bia
sabi ya hu adekoro enwan say ye hu say jene dem sa ane ye dum na ye sa ya ntimi anye fire service for no so ba o ma be duru ha na ese ekwan no o munya kwan.
The Ashanti Regional Fire PRO DO3 Desmond Aka recommended the relocation of residents.
This fire outbreaks within this particular location has become an annual ritual, and what we will advise the city authority is to relocate these quarters and then these slum dwellers from here. When we are able to relocate them, give them decent accommodation elsewhere, and then plan for their safety and security. I mean, this annual ritual fires at Dagomba line will be a thing of the past.
The Ashanti Regional NADMO coordinator, Kwabnan Century, said a temporal place has been secured to accommodate those displaced.
My men are around, then they will try and put things together and see where we're going to place the displaced one. I think I've already spoken to the head of this church that we have selected it as a safe haven. That we're going to put some mattresses and other stuff so that they will spend the night out there.
The mayor of Kumasi, Osesibenchi, expressed concern over the extent of damage.
The advice that we give to the citizenry is that it's not for anything that the assembly always instills that people must be law-abiding. But last 2 or 3 years, this area got fire, which I came here with a lot of you. A lot of structures were marked down. We created a way that a fire can be using day in and day out. But what happens over the night is like people always want to take the law into their own hands.
The Ashanti region has recorded 3 fire outbreaks in less than 48 hours. On Sunday, 2 fire outbreaks were recorded, one at the Abuabo market and the other on the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology campus.
Watching News 360, let's now turn to our MTN Video report.
This is the situation you can find a light pole in. Now the pole is falling due to a heavy downpour. This area is a Suafum district from Mamakrom to Mafu. The high tension pole is nearly falling down. We appeal to those in the authority to come and service it. This is your senior citizen, Emmanuel Kwe.
Well, just like Emmanuel, you too can send to us your visual report via WhatsApp number 055-1433-044.
Well, that said, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in business.
Students of Agri Memorial Senior High School. My school needed a facelift, and Deluxe acrylic paint came in
and did their magic, and wow, the school looks
the touch is simply classic.
The school environment is now conducive for us all to teach and learn.
After the painting, our colors are just phenomenal.
Exquisite, a conducive place to study now.
Proud to be an amazing.
The luxury acrylic paints you can't contest.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Star 787 Hash is celebrating its winners of 2020. Each week, we've seen one of you win 20,000 Ghana cedis. Also, 8 big jackpot wins between 70,000 Ghana cedis and 920,000 Ghana cedis. And of course, there were 4 lucky brand new Toyota Corolla winners. This year, dear, you for blow. What would you do with 1 million Ghana cedis? Will you buy a house, start that dream business, or make a lifetime investment? Make your dreams come alive. Win this big jackpot with only 5 Ghana cedis this Saturday and be a millionaire. What you waiting for? Pick your phone now and dial *787# to play and win. *787#. Obiadi.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful.
Cleansoft, my favorite.
Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
Mama,
Me know.
and I can't stand it.
Just a moment. And now power, huh?
Yeah!
Oh yeah, Jack Macron no more. It's you can I can sit there. Hey yo, contumre. What okuni? Tomato sauce only a baby. And a pasadine for box with salad here. Hey yo, stew. And a jollofa. Na better one. That don't know it though. Auto that. And a bowl of ya. Oh, man, to bunny a doa. Joanna Passoy sauce. Check for you, sir. Oh, more tasty. And a baked beans for the breakfast. Let's all a salad in the mom. Oh, she. And a patuna. We can puffle. Let's all a salad in the mom. Oh, taste good. And a pan on dairy creamer. 4 box with so kinsey. Oats. Na cremitino. Yo, and a spaghetti. Talia Papa B. Mansunin Sijadu Re. Nafa and a spaghetti no gum. Who and a patalia no I am ready. For what? On you with you. So I am no so good. Dem de ruboyi FBA Ashishim Ajatu.
This segment is brought to you by MTN, Universal Merchant Bank, Roma Insecticide Spray and Coil, Shield Gloss Paint, Imperial ODCB and Imperial DCL.
Let's do business now. My name is Eton Amsi. The cedi has lost a marginal 0.25% to the US dollar 11 days into the new year. The development which has been described as unprecedented is as a result of the Bank of Ghana's allotment of some $60 million per its bi-weekly forex forward auctions for the first quarter of 2021.
The cedi in the first quarter of every year usually comes under some pressure due to the high demand for dollars by businesses to finance imports, often resulting in a depreciation of the local currency. The central bank will be selling a total of $300 million in its forex forward auctions in the first quarter of 2021 alone. Some analysts say that the amount of dollars to be sold by the Bank of Ghana in quarter 1 of 2021 alone is a recognition of the pressure the cedi goes through in the first quarter of every year by the central bank. The cedi for the whole of 2020 depreciated by 3.9%, a depreciation rate performance partly achieved due to a weaker dollar caused by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The cedi on Monday, January 11, 2021, as at the time of filing this report, was trading at 5 cedis, 76 pesos against the US dollar.
Away from the Bank of Ghana, the National Labour Commission has directed some 30 retrenched workers of Coca-Cola Company to stop picketing at the company's premises and seek redress. The workers have been demanding their redundancy package after being laid off.
Last year, management of Coca-Cola decided to lay off workers due to operational challenges. The Industrial and Commercial Workers Union ICU, which is the mother association of the workers, stepped in and initiated negotiations to pay redundancy package. About 30 of the workers have been retrenched without recall to the agreement. This led to picketing at the premises of the company. They also prevented other permanent workers from entering the company.
Go behind it, please. Go behind it now.
General Secretary of ICU, Solomon Kote, lashed out at the management for its decision.
The law has it clearly that when you are carrying out redundancy, know the number of people to be affected, okay? 2, whether those people to be affected are going to come under some way of selection. This has not been done. They also issue a redundancy letter telling the employee that I know I have not finished with the MOU. I know I have not finished with the minutes. This one is not making any worker in Coca-Cola safe, because tomorrow they can issue same letter to you, and because they have succeeded with these 30 people, it will become some understanding, written or unwritten, and then that will also be applied against you. So our meeting here this morning is to help us to bring management to law and order and make sure that we are Ghanaians. We cannot be treated as slaves in our own land.
He further urged the workers to remain resolute.
We are looking for a solution. We don't want to kill the productive hours and the man hours. So the 30 affected group will join us in a bar to be provided by management to the work office to go and ensure we continue and possibly conclude the negotiations. This is also first time in Coca-Cola where redundancy letters are given, checks are not attached.
Management of Coca-Cola Bottling Company is here to respond to the issues. Meanwhile, the National Labour Commission has directed the workers to halt picketing at the premises. Hearings to commence on Wednesday, January 13.
The Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area has stressed the need for a proper communication strategy to project the ideals of the agreement. Interacting with the ESCO members of the Media General Group, Wamkele Mene expressed readiness of the Secretariat to work with the media in achieving the objectives of the agreement.
The African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, among other things, seeks to promote trade and economic harmonization among members, and the role of the media in realizing these ideals cannot be overemphasized. With over 8 media outlets making up the Media General conglomerate, the Media Powerhouse presents the versatile platforms for education of the objectives of the trade. The ESCO members, led by the Group Chief Operations Officer, Winfred Affle, called on the Secretary General and assured him of Media General's preparedness for collaborations.
We have a huge say in the global space, and we as a media house, being a giant in Ghana and even in the sub-region, most of our content is spillover. We think that it will be a good institution for us to partner in terms of your media needs, your partnership needs, any way we can also be able to project this good initiative.
Secretary General of the AFTA, Wamkele Mene, expressed the Secretariat's determination to work with the media to achieve the objectives of the agreement.
It's possible to have this interconnectivity through a common platform for trade and using digital platforms. This is not a secretariat for a few or the elite. This is the People's Secretariat. And so our work has to be directly communicated with people across the length and breadth of the continent. So I very much look forward to working with you.
The AFTA Secretariat officially opened in Accra on 17th August 2020, with trading beginning on January 2, 2021.
The Managing Director of FBN Bank, Victor Yawasante, says the bank is determined to roll out more innovative products and services to meet customer demands. He made the observation during a fitness walk in Accra to commence the celebration of the bank's 25th anniversary.
Staff and clients of the bank undertook a 28-kilometer walk in Accra and later converged at its head office to commence its 25th anniversary activities. The Managing Director, Victor Yawasante, outlined some achievements made by the bank.
In the last 2 years, after recapitalized and repositioned, we've moved significantly. Last year, 2020, we either added a new branch or refurbished a new branch of total of about 4. And that is why we have made sure all our branches are upgraded and we have ultra modern branches and so on. We also have introduced the premium banking with the premium lounges that you see. So all these things are some of the things we've done in the last couple of years.
He said the bank is determined to endear itself to the public by rolling out more innovative products and services.
Competition is very, very strong in Ghana. 23 banks, everybody wants a bigger market share. But we think most important is that we'll bring a good return to our customers, we'll bring a good return to our shareholders, we'll bring a good return to our staff. Once we've done that, we are happy, and the rest can follow.
The managing director further highlighted some key targets for the bank this year.
If you listen to the history of First Bank, which is now 126 years compared to our 25, you know that there's still quite a lot of experience that we can bring on, which is what we are focusing on. So we'll continue to do that one day at a time. We are not setting ambitious targets and saying we'll be this on that, but we'll take one day at a time. And what we can promise is that we want to be the bank of choice, and that is every action we take will be towards that.
He gave an assurance that the bank will continue with its COVID-19 relief packages to customers, as well as engage in more corporate social responsibility activities.
Let's now head to the commodities market and see how gold, cocoa and crude fared. And cocoa and gold opened the week's trading sessions on the back foot, whereas crude remained on the front foot. Cocoa price was down by some 1.2% today, while gold price tumbled below $1,900 per ounce for the first time this year. Crude inched up today by some 0.69% to top $55 per barrel mark. And that'll be it for business for tonight. More business news on 3news.com. My name is Eton Amsi. Many thanks for your time.
Speed Up presents 10 steps to stay safe. If you can, stay home. Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Keep alcohol-based hand sanitizer close for frequent use. If you must go out, maintain a safe distance of at least 1 meter from the next person. Cough or sneeze with your mouth and nose covered with tissue, or bend your elbow while doing so. Avoid handshakes or hugs. Keep a mental note of people you have come into contact with or places you've been to. Avoid touching your face with unwashed hands. Drink a lot of fluids and boost your immune system with fruits and vegetables. Bank whenever, wherever with UMB Speed Up. UMB Speed Up. Digibank, let's go.
I was Eric Mesu entry or church ni ewo asempane. Madam fu bi enemy di nkomo efa ayo send with care ho. Na me SMS ni sika akoma me maame. Nti saa dia me de befa ayo send with care. Me free ase Gold Coast camp. Me bese ya Kumasi. Ka bi hia wo care fu bi mu e pray pa. Ofaye e de etena so e de yeko ayasabia. Ye ko ye no ye jemi to ho. Na e da ho ma de achi. Ete me fa me phone me dial star 170 hash. Me call claims. E ho ana me ye me claim no edify. Abusia me ko he me phone so a message yaba. Message bay ayo send with care. Sika no muka ye no ampa omadu mo hye so awurade asu saada no me se enija menya ye no na menya bi da amabrabom na emom ayo mama hu se saada muka bia no eye no kre.
You can now send mobile money with care by simply dialing star 170 hash. Select option 1 and then option 3. Send with care. Ayo, because you care. This policy is underwritten by Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
sports segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening. Time to do sports here on NEWS360. My name is Yao Ofosulabi. Let's start off from the camp of Asante Kotoko, where striker Kwame Poku bagged the brace on Monday afternoon to inspire the team to a delightful 2-0 win against Liberty Professionals in the Ghana Premier League. The latest victory sees the Porcupine Warriors Club climbing to 6th in the Ghana Premier League standings.
For that game against the Confederations, but it's Sarkodie for Kotoko. Sends a deep cross in. Kwame Poku! For the space. Always looking for a place where he could be all on his own. And once the ball comes back to him, onto his chest, sets himself up, and with the left pressing since joining Asante Kotoko. Lovely switch from Fabio Gama. Kwame Poku with a lovely control. Kwame Poku! What a goal! It's still a difficult one to do. Goalkeeper is approaching him, narrowing down the angle, but he doesn't find it. Take a look at this for the control with the chest. Turns with the chest control, beats his man, and once the goalkeeper approaches, he knows exactly what he wants to do, and it's a finish. Referee takes a look at his watch, whistle to his mouth, and he blows it. It's over at the Accra Sports.
On a catch and the determination, and now confidence, additional because this is a big team. And so behind Bobo Bemiano, and to time Biano, or they make sure the match be a final match.
It's unfortunate. I think my boys, the inexperience show today a lot. But I think we'll go back and right the wrongs. And
well, that's Asante Kotoko there, Kwame Poku with those two delightful goals. But Ghana Premier League fans expressed satisfaction in the COVID-19 protocols they had to adhere to before they could catch a glimpse of their favorite players. Football fans were banned from attending match venues since March last year as one of the measures to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus.
As soon as you just pay for your ticket, then you enter. There's Veronica bucket there, you have to wash your hands, then they just check your everything. If everything is okay, then they just make you enter. It wasn't difficult.
I just paid my ticket and I came inside, so it was very smooth for me.
There's no difficulty. We just pay we pay the money and they give us the ticket, so we did not feel any difficulty in that we enter.
COVID-19 had huge ramifications on sports. It curtailed the excitement for fans and took away their joy for months after government issued a statement to play matches behind closed doors. Ghana's case count now stands at 55,772, with 54,436 recoveries and 336 deaths. In a bid to keep safe, Veronica buckets, soaps, and large bundles of tissue papers were placed at vantage points for everyone to be able to access before entering stadiums. It wasn't surprising to see fans, as a result, at the booths to purchase a match ticket during the first game. At the gates, fans went through the mandatory temperature checks. Legon Cities picked up their first 3 points after beating Wafa by a lone goal. The fans expressed their excitement at being back to the stadium.
During the lockdown, it was very devastating. You're always indoors, nothing to do, even the football matches, football was going. And now the love is back. I have to be here and support what I love doing the best.
Very happy. And I'm a fan of Legon City, so that's why I'm here.
We are very, very happy and excited to be here to watch our team playing today.
The police also did their part to ensure social distancing among fans at the stadium was maintained. Coach Abubakar Damba, who sat among fans, said it was good to have them back at the stadium.
Some of them really, really understand the game. They are so passionate about the game. So I think that they're coming back into the stadium to watch the games is really spicing up the game and making it more interesting. And I think that with time, I'll be happier if more spectators are, allowed to come and watch the game.
That was my colleague Daniel Yeboah's report. Now, Ghana will face Ivory Coast later tomorrow in the ongoing WAFU Zone B Under-17 tournament in Togo. The Black Stars drew 1-1 with Nigeria on Saturday in their first game of the tournament. Now, they will need to avoid defeat against La Côte d'Ivoire to make it to the next round of the competition. The Ivorians lead Group B with 3 points after a 1-0 win against Nigeria in the opening game. The upcoming WAFU B Cup will serve as qualifiers for the 2021 Under-17 AFCON in Morocco, where the 4 quarter-finalists will earn tickets to the 2021 Under-17 World Cup. Our final story this evening, and the Premier League says 36 players and club staff have tested positive during the latest rounds of testing for COVID-19. The league conducted 2,593 tests across 2 rounds over the past week. Between the 4th and the 7th of January, there were 27 new positive tests and 9 more were found during testing between the 8th and the 10th of January. Now, the number is a slight decrease on the 40 positive tests following last week's round of testing. Well, that's all the sports news this evening. My name is Yao Ofusula. International News is up next.
You gotta have a smile, no matter what it takes. Then you gotta take perk down, love the way it tastes. Feel the perky buzz from your toes to your face. You gotta take perk down, perky it today. Say oh, 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 oh. You gotta take perk down, perky it today. Say oh, 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 oh. You gotta take perk down, perky it today. Say oh, 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 oh. You gotta take perk down, perky it today.
Perk up anywhere, even at home, with the rich milky taste of Peck biscuits. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Now what's never more bit center free and taxia and then a what in flight 2-in-1 floor cleaner and a best sewer hound one. Ewa Modina Ekum na a sound of pump more 1 kitwa where we are from Emma from the wine. Na enjoy feeling a kaibia. In flight floor cleaner no. Ninka Gumwa Hood one nan, Wope Bambo Mapa, every more 1 kitwa hodia. G Inas Fly Africa D. Inas Flyer na. No insect, no stress. Eddie Ashisha said
my husband deserves the best jollof.
Yay!
And so do my kids. Not necessary, dear. Because for the first time in Ghana, we have the new Tasty Tom Jollof Mix. This has all the pepper, onion, thyme, curry powder, ginger, garlic, and tomatoes I need to cook my tasty jollof with no stress at all. All I do is pour my oil, add Tasty Tom Jollof Mix, fry for 4 minutes, and add water, some cube and salt, and finally rice. And my tasty jollof is ready in only 45 minutes.
So tasty.
New Tasty Tom Jollof Mix. Wash your hands regularly. Stay home and eat healthy.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to News 360. On the international front this evening, Democrats have introduced an article of impeachment against Donald Trump, accusing him of inciting insurrection and violence against the U.S. government. Now, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has said Democrats have impeached Trump for a second time, a first for any U.S. president, if Vice President Mike Pence and Trump's White House cabinet do not first evict him under the 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Democrats have introduced a resolution to the House asking Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump. The chamber adjourned within minutes after a Republican objection and will meet again tomorrow for a vote. A group of Democrats also introduced an article of impeachment against the president to be acted on if Mr. Pence fails to act. They charged Trump with incitement of insurrection, Related to the invasion of the U.S. Capitol last Wednesday, Trump himself has made no public statements since Friday, when he was banned from several social media platforms. He leaves office on January 20, when President-elect Joe Biden is inaugurated. Several people have been charged in connection with last week's violence, which left 5 people dead, including a Capitol police officer.
Let's take you to Asia, where the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un celebrated his birthday with a long wish list of new weapons. Now, it also included more accurate long-range missiles, super large warheads, spy satellites, and a nuclear-powered submarine. Well, the military plans announced during one of the biggest political events in North Korea in the last 5 years may sound threatening, and it is indeed a threat, but it's also a challenge. The timing of this message, according to many concerns, is said to be key as it comes as U.S. President-elect Joe Biden also prepares to take office. Kim Jong-un, who has also now been promoted to Secretary General, the highest rank of the ruling Workers' Party in North Korea, is struggling to be heard outside his own country amidst the current tumult in the United States. But if the incoming U.S. administration harbors any hopes of preventing Mr. Kim's nuclear ambitions, now could be the time to listen. Well, that'll be it for the international news. Now let's bring you the latest update in entertainment.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Food Lover Special Fragrance Rice.
Well, in entertainment news this evening, the National Folklore Board over the weekend held a special event to celebrate the country's rich culture and heritage. The Night of Folklore trailed patrons to some great tales of the Adinkra symbols, heroism of our forebears, and beauty of the Ghanaian culture and heritage. Naftali Bar has more in the following report.
Celebrating the country's rich culture and heritage, the Night of Folklore hosted some of Ghana's finest poets, musicians, and storytellers.
It is a symbol of greatness, charisma, and leadership.
There were accounts of the historical and philosophical significance of the Adinkra symbols, which have gained global prominence, and the ingenuity of Ghanaian women and the heroism of the country's forebears.
They put them in chains, hung them at the belly of the slave ship. To what destination were they being taken to? No one amongst them knew.
Gifted with African poetry, talented Kids winner Nakiat Dramani, Nana Sase, Village Minds, Akable, Trigmatic, and the Buoyant Band were just a few of the performers who thrilled patrons on the night. The Night of Folklore, powered by the Folklore Board and at the auspices of the Ghana Tourism Authority, was intended to promote the country's folklore.
So the significance is to show that, yes, our folklore is beautiful. What is ours is beautiful. And we cannot better promote anything but what is ours, because that is what is inherently ingrained in us.
Ghana's folklore is beautifully embedded in its traditions, language, dance, and music.
As a folklore ambassador, it's our responsibility to always push the Ghanaian folklore wherever we go. And this is what we've done tonight. I want to say the future, what we envision in the future is to see more of this, reorienting the Ghanaian to believe, to love and live the Ghanaian heritage.
Tradition is good as now.
Yes,
That should be the Wulamoy there.
Absolutely.
Well, now for News 360, thank you for watching us. And you can get all the latest at day3news.com. We have TV3 Ghana, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget YouTube as well. My name is Roland Walker.
I'm Nasty Ford. Thanks a lot for watching and do enjoy the rest of your evening.